and welcome to this amazing special interview with my dear friends Gay and Katie Hendricks. And for the three of you out there who don't already know them, because the rest of the world does, they are pioneers in the field of love and relationships, and they've written amazing bestseller books like Conscious Loving and Conscious Living and The Corporate Mystic and 5 Wishes, and they've appeared everywhere, Oprah, CNN, you name it. They are my personal love mentors, and I'm so happy to have you guys with me. How are you?
We're doing just great. Thank you.
Great to see you again.
Oh, it's so good to see you guys. I miss you guys. No, we gotta.
Yes, I follow you on Facebook, and but there's nothing like really being in person with each other. So I'd like to do that soon.
Come up and visit us sometime, but not like today when it's 102 degrees here.
Yeah,
I know it's hot here too. So today, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to tackle a really big topic called You're Too Fat and Other Hard Conversations to Have, because you guys are the experts. So I thought, let's begin with your take on what do you believe about honesty in relationships?
well, we think that honesty is the best aphrodisiac there is, and honesty in relationships allows you to be completely yourself with your partner. And I don't think there's anything more delicious on the planet.
Yeah, well, with honesty, you have a relationship, and without honesty, you have an entanglement. Anytime you're not sharing who you really are or not interested in who the other person really is, then you're kind of sacrificing the intimacy in the relationship to kind of keep some facade in place. But I think particularly in having hard conversations, you really need to make sure you're covering like 2 of the other 3 feelings. In other words, most people try to have a hard conversation by talking about something they're angry about. But what people really need to do is come down here a little bit, talk about things they're sad about, things they're scared about, further down in their bodies. So you've got to make sure you're bringing your whole emotional package to the situation, including your joy, too, because you've got to learn how to speak directly from the heart if you really want to have a close relationship.
And of course, most of us were never taught how to do that. So given that you guys are so amazing at role-playing, let's say, you guys got married and you were both trim and fit and active, and then the kids came along, and then the weight came on, and everybody got bigger. And it's to the point that one or both of you is really not healthy anymore. How, without really damaging your relationship, how do you have an effective conversation that says, without saying you're too fat, how do you, what do you do?
Okay, well, let's role play here. Which one would you like to be? Would you like to be the fat one?
Oh, I'll be the fat one. Yeah, this would be good. Because I actually asked Gay one time to let me know if anything that I was wearing made me look fat, and so he did. We could actually play that conversation.
Well, that took place about 35 years ago, but we learned how to do it.
We learned how to do it.
So here's the absolute key to it. Okay, so I feel sad when I think about how you must feel in your body, because you look like...
What do you mean?
Well, you look like you're struggling a lot, and you look like you're not moving as fast as you used to, and your clothes aren't fitting like they are.
Yeah, that's true. They're
I'm really
tight.
concerned that if you're... I guess basically the big fear for me is that I'm going to lose you. And I don't want to lose you.
No.
I want to thrive with you, and I'm afraid that we won't be able to thrive together.
Yeah, that's, things have been creeping up, and it hasn't been something that I wanted to look at. And initially I felt really scared when you said something, but you're really pointing to something that I just haven't been willing to look at.
So that's one way to do it, where you come from, you don't come from up here. Up here is judgments, like you're too fat, or you're too something. And down here is where the action is, where you register what your real feelings are about the situation. And unless you share those, the other person doesn't have anything really to react to.
And one of the things that I found really important is that I might feel scared to even say something. And so that's what I would start with is, I've been wanting to share something with you, but I feel scared about it because I'm afraid that it's going to get in the way of our relationship. But I care about you, and I also care about having you around. So I want to tell this to you, but I'm afraid I'm not going to do it just right. So the whole thing, we have to have it packaged up, or we have to know exactly what we're going to say. But I found over and over again, if I share from what I'm actually feeling and not trying to make it perfect, that really communicates.
Yeah, because imagine that, like somebody drinks too much. So that could make you really angry. How do you get into the kindness and compassion of, listen, your drinking has escalated. It was a cocktail after work. Now it's a bottle of vodka every night. And I'm afraid, I'm afraid of your anger. How do you have that conversation?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to come from what you're afraid about. We think that I'm scared can save a lot of save a lot of marriages, whereas I'm angry, is an okay place to start, but you want to get down into your deeper feelings. It reminds me, we mentioned that time way back in the early part of our marriage when Katie asked me to tell her if she ever wore any clothing that made her look fat. And now here's the clincher. You got to have your timing right, because one time we were running out the door to make a speech somewhere.
Yeah.
We were going to make a speech at a church.
At a church, yes.
And so you were dressed up kind of...
I was dressed up fancy in this beautiful violet dress that was brand new. And as we were heading out the door, Gay said, that makes you look fat.
Oh, no.
And it just so happens that we had some people visiting who the woman was a great deal taller than I am. And so I gave her the dress, and it looked absolutely beautiful on her. And I just made a change. And I appreciated that I can count on Gay to value authenticity over whatever uproar might happen between us. The other thing I think is really important in these kinds of conversations is that you don't stack things up. So if I say, I noticed that you're going back for another drink already. We've been at the party for half an hour. This is Gay doesn't drink, so this is. And so I would say something like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. What's going on for you? And so that I communicate that I've noticed, and that I'm interested in what might be driving the behavior, not just you're drinking a lot, because that can be taken so judgmentally.
Yeah, and also, too, people that are drinking too much or eating too much or whatever their thing is, they've already judged themselves worse than anybody else can judge them. So there's no sense coming in at that level of,
Which never works anyway.
It never really works. So, coming from that deeper emotional place, I think, is a way to start the conversation.
The other thing I want to say is for whoever can remember to breathe, to take a breath, to feel yourself, to give some loving attention to yourself before you encounter your partner, because it's so easy for fear to take you way up and then you just escalate with each other. But to get present in your body and to let your communication come from there, that's what really connects, not so much the words, but really your intention.
So, I hear a lot of married women with kids talking about how their mate spends too much time working or playing golf or video games, and they get angrier and angrier. And how do they have the same conversation that, you're ignoring me and the family?
Well, one of the things we tell people is to focus on making requests. What do you want to do? If you want to do something with your mate, make a request to do that, so that you're not waiting for them to say, I'm not going to go out and play golf today because I'd rather spend time with you. If they don't know that you want to spend time with them, they're not mind readers. So making a request, and also the liberal application of appreciations for the time your partner does spend with you, what you enjoy about spending time with them. So you're really drawing on that reservoir of, oh yes, this is how much fun it is for us to be together, and I want to have fun with you in this particular way or in that way.
And what would be the best way to make that request effectively?
One way to do it, as Katie mentioned earlier, to start with whatever your feelings are. You know, like, I'm afraid to share this with you because I'm afraid you're going to get angry about it, and but it's something I want to share with you. So you start out by whatever your feelings are at the time, and that sets a tone. I think what we see more often when people come here that are stuck is they've been living in a cycle of criticism and blame for so long that they don't really know how to get out of it. It's almost like a trance they get stuck in. And one way to get out of it is also to look for something you can appreciate about yourself and the other person, and at least begin to inject a positive note into the conversation.
I also want to suggest that you do something that doesn't take very much time. So I'd love to go for a walk around the block with you after dinner today. Or I'd like to listen to some of our favorite music and dance with you in the living room for 5 or 10 minutes. So that you start with those little increments that don't feel like, oh, I've got to do something with you again, but really add to the enjoyment of your celebrating your relationship.
Do you have any tips for when you're in that highly agitated, aggravated, I want to kill you state before you get into let's go for a walk around the block?
First, take a walk around the block yourself.
Yes.
We've actually had people in our office that we stopped the conversation and sent them out for a walk around the block the opposite directions. So they were out of each other's range for at least 15 or 20 minutes. So sometimes you need a little bit of breathing space. Being in a close relationship all the time is great, and you need some
solo time
to kind of get back into your own body again.
The other practical thing that I found really valuable for partners when they get stuck is to drop the words out. So when you drop the words, because words, we know exactly the word that's going to get our partner, and really drive that point home. But if you drop the words out, you can continue your conversation with sounds and gestures. And we've had people turn their relationships around in a minute and start laughing at how funny they are and seeing the joke of the thing that gets them stuck rather than how to blame each other.
What does that look or sound like?
Okay. And
that works?
Yeah.
And what you're doing is activating a different part of your brain than the language center. And sometimes by doing that, see, human beings, the human brain is about the size of a grapefruit. And the thinking part is about the size of the rind of a grapefruit, and the emotional part of our brains is about the size of the juicy part of the grapefruit. So you've got to honor your feelings and honor the other person's feelings, but we're more than just angry when we're in an argument. We're also sad and scared and probably other things too, but you have to learn how to get down to the bottom of your feelings, and a lot of times those occur further down in your body than all your judgments and your angers and your irritations and all of those kinds of things.
Oh God, I'm going to have to try that one. So before I let you go, tell us about your new book.
Oh, thank you. Yes, our new book, Conscious Loving Ever After, How to Create Thriving Relationships at Midlife and Beyond, is coming out in October.
Yes, and we're very excited about it because we have been working on it for about 20 years. And so we have a 20-year birth, a 20-year pregnancy that's about to be born. And we're very excited about it because it's our book about midlife and beyond, like how to make the most of your relationships in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And we haven't had anybody in our 90s yet here, but we have people up into their 80s. And we found some real secrets to it. And the secrets are partly having to do with creativity, learning how to fire up your own creativity at midlife and after. So if you know anybody, you probably don't know many people that are over 40, but in case you do, please let them know there is a possibility of having even better relationships, even better sex at age 70 that we ever had at age 40. So that's the advantage of being together for 35 years. We have a long history that we can call on.
Yeah, what we found is it really truly can keep getting better. And when you learn how to, we have a chapter on how to release fear, a chapter on really how to presence, because we talk about that all the time, about being present with your beloved, but we show you how to do it really step by step and the benefits of it. And then what can get unleashed when you are really co-creating this space between becomes possible. That's really magical.
Oh, it sounds great. Well, I'm sure it's going to be another big bestseller. And I want everybody to know, if you want more Gay and Katie Hendricks, go to hendricks.com. Thank you so much, guys. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.